Hello again, and welcome to the living room. I thought I would start off a new series of messages, and I've been thinking about this idea for a while. I thought it would be kind of fun and kind of useful. Things I like about Christianity. Useful things that in the Christian faith that are there that I want to make available and sort of something we can study, something we can extract without having to be, signing up for membership, without having to sit in certain pews of certain denominations. What are the big, good concepts that I love about Christianity? And I hope that that could be something you can use. I know that um, we've heard some of these terms before, but we're going to go over them in a way that I hope that is enlightening. Today, the first one I want to talk about is the power of forgiveness. It's a very central theme in Christian thought and the Christian experience is to become a person of forgiveness. And it's a very powerful moment in one's life when they truly forgive a person or an event or a very specific painful thing that happened in their life. That is such a powerful feeling. It's like liberation. You feel light. We don't realize it, but we're going through life, and a lot of times we feeling tired, or we're feeling a little depressed, or we're feeling a little sluggish, or we're feeling a little procrastination, or whatever it is. A lot of times, there's underneath that is stuff that we're kind of bitter about, or we're kind of resentful about, and you can really liberate a lot of things in your life when you start taking a growth journey on the topic of forgiveness. Forgiveness is directly related to how loving of a person we actually become. And that's why I want to talk about it. We just talked about a couple messages on harmony, right? We want to be people of harmony, and the end goal of spirituality is being a person of love. And we can't really be a person of real unconditional love if we are unable to forgive, don't you think? So, one of those powerful mechanisms in Christianity is when you feel forgiven for your wrongdoings. You feel that grace from God. You feel forgiven for what you're doing, what you have, let's say, done wrong or haven't done. Then you feel naturally like, oh well, if I've been forgiven, then I think I should be willing to extend forgiveness to others. See how that works? And when you go into, say, a random Christian pew or sermon, sometimes they hit you with this word and I'll admit, I have a slightly allergic reaction to this word. So if I turn some people off, it's okay. I'm turning myself off a little bit. There's this word, they hit you with, we're sinners. Sinners. And I don't know about you, but I never resonated with that word so much. It's like, okay, yeah, we have flaws, but I don't get charged up when someone's calling me a sinner. It doesn't vibe with me. It's not because I'd like to think it's not because I'm arrogant or about it. It's just because I don't. I feel like, look, the world is all totally messed up. We've been dealt some pretty bad cards. We're doing our best. So, but here, let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. Here's the good side of that concept, that base understanding that we are sinners, right? Here's where the power comes in. If you accept that part, if you kind of got that, the next step is we need forgiveness from God. And when you've been forgiven by God, and when you really feel that, a lot of Christians, I mean, millions and millions, felt just incredible liberation and tears from that forgiveness of God, grace of God. Then you are willing to extend that grace to others. So you might be like, no, religiousness is not for me. But hey, wait a second. Check out the impact it can have on your personality. You could be a real person of forgiveness if you kind of think about this. So the bottom line is that when we really think about, pray about God's grace coming into our life, then we're more able to give it to others. That makes us more loving, right? That makes us a person that's growing. I feel like that's such a flow. We're getting grace, we're connecting with God, and then we're giving more grace to people around us. And that's a flow actually, that's the opposite of the flow of the world right now. The flow of the world is, I've been hurt, so I need to hurt you. I saw a comedian real briefly, and he said, look, all the religions are teaching the same thing. And so he was kind of like, oh, cool. Okay, there's like a unification message coming here. They're all teaching the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I thought, okay. And then he said, so if you mess with me, I'm going to mess with you. If you hurt me, I'm hurting you. You leave me alone, I'll leave you alone. And then I paused. I was like, that is not... Dude, you really misunderstood the idea of the golden rule. It doesn't mean you mess with me, I'll mess with you. You hurt me, I'll hurt you equally. That's actually the opposite. That's what's getting us into the mess. That's the exact flow of pain and destruction. And we're all kind of becoming aware of those cycles, right? Cycles, they pass down from our parents, but who parented our parents? Probably not much better. I see people commenting on Gen Z versus and then boomers and millennials. Well, who was before the boomers and who was before the boomers of the boomers? It's coming from somewhere. And this resentment cycle, somebody's got to get out of it. It's like you've given all your cards to the other person. If you hurt me, then I'll hurt you. Well, who holds all the cards? You're waiting for the other person to dictate everything about how you act. That's just not a way to grow. That's not a way to break the cycles that we're stuck in. What's going to break the cycle is somebody who says, I don't care what's going on before me or around me. I want to be true. That's why that word has a lot of weight. I want to be true to something. Some calling, God, some way God meant for me to be. I'm going to be true to that. And it's regardless of the circumstances that came before me or are around me. So this is really, how do we become that unshakable person? It really is that topic still. And forgiveness is that mechanism. You can hurt me, but because God is around me and with me all the time, I'm going to forgive you. You got to feel God's grace. That is so key. None of the spiritual journey really functions well without feeling God's grace. The older I get, the more I realize it. I was thinking, there's so many good people I know, good conscientious people. They don't have a particular doctrine or spiritual affiliation. Whatever, it's fine. And then I noticed that they're worried about stuff. There's a lot of fear, there's a lot of anxiety. A lot of people I've met are worried about not messing up at work, for instance, not letting the company down, not doing a bad job, not letting the family down, not letting this fall apart. A lot of anxiety, and it just came to me, whoa, those people aren't feeling God's grace. It's like if I mess up, I'm worthless. If I mess up, I'm not good enough, and I'm not worthy of love. Not worthy as a person. And I started to have a little soft spot in my heart for these people, for just people I was thinking about. They're not going through their day feeling God's grace. And then you wonder, that's actually the starting point of why, they're living life on this harsh edge. Well, then they give you the harsh edge. No one ever took care of me. Why should I take care of you? No one ever babied me. Why should I wait around and baby you? No one ever really nurtured me and asked me about my feelings. Why should I be nurturing you and asking about your feelings? That harsh edge. So, brothers and sisters, I want to just leave you with this last poignant point. Those very people that are treating you with that harsh edge, they're looking at you with they've criticized your life with everything that you've done or whatever. The very people that are harsh towards you, those people are doing that because they don't feel God's grace. They don't feel it. I'm sorry. I would say that to their face in a loving way. It doesn't matter if they're churchgoers. They are not feeling the full extent of God's grace. And that's creating the harsh edge in their heart. And I thought about the people who maybe I considered treated me harshly. Maybe I used to be super sensitive to criticism. I used to be. And then I went back in my mind. I thought, wow, all the people who were harshest or most critical towards me, they aren't feeling grace. And then my heart becomes a little softer towards the very people who might be critical and hard on me. So I hope that can be the mechanism we take away, regardless of where you go on Sunday mornings and all that. Let's take away that example Jesus brought forth and that the Christian world has tried to promote. The heart of forgiveness. Like the Bible says, I love this little poetic phrase, I'll change your heart of stone for a heart of flesh. Let's be soft-hearted. Let's be tender-hearted. Let's see the people who give us the hardest time as people we need to, wow, I wish I could show them how to feel God's grace. That would soften their whole heart, their whole life so much in a way that they desperately need. So I hope that lesson can be passed forth. Try using that lens as you look at people in your life. Try that lens this week. The next few lessons, we're going to talk about not just forgiveness, but there's more coming in the What I Love About Christianity series. There's a few more coming, so stay tuned and we'll see you next time. God bless.